Alright, so we are getting ready for the Old Dominion 100 miler. It's in 2 days. So right now we are packing up the drop bags. Now this is a little bit more minimalist and a lot less than I normally take for 100 milers, but I'm trying to be very efficient on these drop bags and try to carry the least amount as possible during this 100 miler because it can be pretty hot. This is known to be a very hot race, so I don't want to be carrying around a lot of stuff or really be relying on a lot of extra gear. I'm really only going to be running this 100 miler with a fanny pack on, so I have to stay pretty minimalist so that I can make sure that all that nice heat mitigation and my body isn't fully weighed down and I'm just dying and slogging around like a freaking fully kitted out, full battle rattle monster, just slogging through the freaking trails. So I've been really working on being very minimalist in my gear, and I've been practicing this loadout on my long runs, on the 50 milers, and I'm pretty sure I have a really good system. Now I did add in a little bit extra stuff just to make sure that if anything does go wrong, there are essentials that I put in these drop bags to make sure that I have replacements if anything crazy goes on. And I'll talk about those as we go into the drop bags. So this is my favorite style of drop bags for 100 milers. It's just a Ziploc bag that I reinforce with duct tape, and I make them all crazy colors so they're really easy to identify. I'll use Sharpie to put on markings and how long till the next drop bag is on this one. And that has been very useful, so I can just grab the drop bag, look at all the information that I need to get, all the items that I need to get, and then go on from there. And it has been a really good system, and it's been a really awesome system, and it's pretty cheap. I made about 7 drop bags for under $20, so that has been a really cost-effective way that I've been creating my drop bags. So this might be a little bit different on how other people set up their drop bags. When I set up my drop bags, I want to make sure that if I just have a yard sale out there, like I fall down the freaking mountain and I totally eat shit, all my stuff goes and disappears, that I'll have enough items inside of the drop bag to replenish everything I need. And that's just probably preparation from the military to make sure that I have enough gear to get to the next drop bag and to the next aid station. So I set up every one of these drop bags to basically I could just like yard sale once again and then just replace everything that I need for the next 4 hours. So I believe technically on this course you can have 8 to 9 drop bags on this course, which is absolutely awesome. That's a lot of freaking drop bags for a 100 miler. I chose to do only 7. So the first thing that I'm going to be putting in the drop bags, I have 4 of the Precision 90s. So my goal for this race is going to be around 90 to 120 grams of carbs every hour. So I'll be chugging down one of these every hour. And then I'll probably be picking up more nutrition at the aid stations. Each aid station at this 100 miler, once again, it's super well stocked. They have so many freaking aid stations that I think it's around every 5 to 6 miles there's another aid station. So I'm going to be picking at on-course nutrition, some supplementing with some Gatorade or Tailwind and Freak Shake, but those extra 30 grams of carbs I'm going to be getting from the aid stations, and really focusing on the bare minimum of getting that 90 grams of carbs every hour with these little packets. And I love these packets. I basically can just like shoot one down my throat all at once, and then I'm good for an hour. I'll also have in each bag a caffeine gel. So this is 30 grams of carbs with 100 milligrams of caffeine, and I might be pushing up my caffeine quite a bit this race. I want to really try it out. I tried it out in training and stuff where I was pushing in quite a lot of caffeine. So in each one of these bags I have 100 milligram caffeine gel, and I'll be taking probably like 5 to 6 of them, seeing how my stomach really feels. But that'll push me right up to 120 grams of carbs per hour when I actually hit these gels, and that'll be 5 hours worth. So anytime I'm not taking one of these caffeine gels, I'll just grab something from the aid station and then go from there. And then I always have my electrolytes. So I've been taking 6 of these electrolyte capsules. every hour, and that's around 1,200 milligrams of sodium with all the other accompanying electrolytes, and that has been really helping me out on my long runs and on these training runs. So I've been taking 6 capsules every hour, and then I have emergency Tylenol in each one of these bags. That's gonna be the main things that I have in these drop bags. Strategically, I'm gonna be placing a couple other items. So I have socks, I have 4 pairs of socks that I'll be spreading out throughout the course. It's supposed to be pretty hot during this race, but it's also supposed to rain all day. So I'm gonna really make sure to take care of my feet during this race because I'm not gonna be having an extra pair of shoes on course. That might change. I might actually get one bigger bag and put it in the halfway point just in case anything happens with my shoes. I might throw in a pair of shoes that I know are tried and true and just throw them right in the middle of the course where if I need to change them, I can change them at that point. And though that and that bigger drop bag is kind of where it's going to be transitioning more into the nighttime. So I'll have like all my cold weather snivel gear in there if it does start getting cold and rainy. So with the snivel gear, probably around like mile 50 to mile 60, I'll have a rain jacket, I'll have a buff for my head or ears if it starts getting cold, and then of course another pair of socks. So if I really start getting cold, I can start layering up, and I'll also throw in some gloves in there also, just because like, man, when your fingertips are cold and you're running, just a pair of gloves or like covering up your hands, it helps so much. Just like, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but having warm hands when you're really cold, it helps tremendously. The other thing that I will have in these bags, I'll have 3 extra bottles spread out through these bags also, just in case, you know, those tips have always blown off or a bottle springs a leak or anything like that. Getting down to 1 bottle, especially on a very hot race, man, that can really kill you. So I always make sure that I have a couple extra bottles spread out through my drop bags for any of those unknown situations. Another pick-me-up item that I always have in a couple of my drop bags is a Red Bull. I like the taste, I like how much freaking sugar is in these Red Bulls when I'm running. So if I ever need a pick-me-up or just like in a low point and I just need something yummy, I'll grab a Red Bull, and then I won't be taking in, of course, the caffeine gel that time. Another thing that I always put in my drop bags is a buffer. So it's either a tortilla or a bagel, and I'll have these in each one of my drop bags also. So if my stomach starts getting acidy and I start feeling like it's just like too full of gels and my stomach is just like dying, I always switch over to a bagel, and I'll give my body like an hour to 30 minutes rest. I'll drop a bagel in there so then it can start like absorbing some of that acid, absorbing all that gel and stuff, and that has really helped. One thing that I've really noticed is if you eat like a tortilla or something from the aid station or a bagel around the same time that you would eat normally during the day, it really keeps your body kind of like in that synced up mode. So it's like, oh, I'm not starving, you're still feeding me. You got all this sugar, you got all these calories, but your body still wants something in its stomach, at least for me. So I noticed instead of eating like a full meal out there, just dumping in a bagel or some tortillas has really helped my stomach out and keep my stomach feeling like normal and not getting like really hungry out there. Another thing that is a must-have is lube. I'll usually only reapply like 3 times during the race, but that reapplication is freaking essential, especially if it's raining on and off and it starts washing off a little bit. It's really important to reapply your Body Glide because, man, that chafy chafe, oh man, it will burn you for a couple days after your race. Oh man, it's terrible. So this is essential. The last thing that I'll have in my drop bag, which is absolutely essential, is a headlamp. So I always make sure, especially now, because I learned it the very hard way, that you should have your headlamps in 2 different drop bags. So I always put them around like mile 60 or mile 70, judging on the projected times, and I'll spread them out on the 2 later drop bags just to make sure if a drop bag gets lost or if I forget to grab my headlamp like I did on my last 100 miler. I forgot to grab it, and I had an awesome aid station worker that went out to his truck and gave me one of his headlamps. So thank you so much for that. Totally saved my race. But I always make sure that I put a couple headlamps in those later miles, just in case, because around like mile 60, mile 70, that's when you're really starting to deteriorate and you might forget some stuff. So you might as well have a couple extra. So once again, that's all I'm going to be having for the drop bags for the Old Dominion 100 miler. There's so much aid out there. There's so many aid stations like every 5 miles once again, that I could probably do it without drop bags. But me personally, I like to have the fuel that I know I can actually run on. Even if it is a little bit more weight, I like to have all my nutrition on me for at least 4 hours, and then I can just shift and adapt on course. And that has happened many times before. And during the Mid-State Massive, I actually had a crew. We had all the gear that I needed, all the nutrition that I needed, and my stomach just didn't want to take the nutrition that I wanted. So all this planning just went to shit, and then I ran the rest of that race on potato chips. So having a good set out plan is always the best idea, but then always remember to stay adaptable, because during a 100-mile race, hey, things are gonna freaking come up, and it's up to you on how you actually deal with those situations, on how your race is gonna go. So once again, make sure that you're going out there, you're planning, you're staying adaptable, you're chipping away, becoming an average savage. Let's go fucking crush this 100-miler. Let's destroy all this fucking nutrition while we're out on the course. Stay cool, stay fucking pushing. The goal is a sub 20-hour 100-miler, so I have about like 24 to 28 hours of nutrition, so hopefully I won't have to use it all, and I can use a lot of this for training later. But we're gonna chip away, we're gonna get out there, we're gonna fucking crush it. Let's go and let's get it. Woo!